Hi, I'm Tanner Davis. I'm here to introduce you to a world called Mesopotamia. It is one of the first civilizations to use agriculture and kind of just start out. Mesopotamia is a world that lived between two rivers, the Tigris and the Ingris, or whatever it was. We're going to start off with Colton Smith telling us a little bit about some of their accomplishments and their achievements.
Hi, I'm Colton Smith. I'm going to be talking about achievements.
What kind of achievements will you be talking about today?
Good question, Josh. Craner? Thank you. As you can see right here, we have simple pottery wheels that they use for carrying food. They didn't use it for carrying people or other supplies. They just used it for food because they weren't as strong because it was made out of pottery. The next one that they have were simple mathematics. Though they were not in English, they understood it back then. Which, as you can tell, you can't understand it because, well, we don't know what language that is.
Now, we will go on to Josh Garner. He will tell us a little bit more about their religion.
Hi there. I am going to be talking to you about the Mesopotamians' religion. Okay, I will be talking about polytheism. It is the belief of many gods, such as, give me a second, and it's not, here you go. It's a lot easier for me not to read it.
That is cool. Many gods. So, as I stated earlier about polytheism, belief in multiple gods. Now we're going to move on to what the Mesopotamian government was like. Their government structure was fairly simple. They had kings that ruled over land, but they didn't rule over the entire kingdom. They instead ruled over small city-states or parts of land. Very much how our government is set up today, where we have governors and mayors that are controlling the state or the city. So, to go off of the Mesopotamian government, we also have to go over their economics. The Mesopotamian economics were based off of mostly trading. Basically, with everything that they had, they could trade it or use it for something else. So, say if a farmer had a bushel of wheat that he just farmed, he could trade that for a favor from someone else, or other food, or tools, or other items to help him in his trade or help provide for his family. It's a pretty simple process. So eventually trade becomes commerce, and commerce becomes an entire trade system. They eventually, since they used rivers, they could eventually use these rivers to trade with other lands. It's pretty cool. So now on to Ethan Craner. He's going to explain to us a little bit about the geography of the Mesopotamians and the different social classes. First, we'll start with geography. Ethan?
So, the Mesopotamia is a Greek word meaning between the rivers. The rivers are the Tigris and Euphrates, which flow through modern Iraq. Northern Mesopotamia is made up of hills and plains, and the land is actually quite fertile due to seasonal rains and the rivers and streams. And the southern Mesopotamia is made up of marshy areas and wide, flat, barren plains.
Now we'll move on to the different social classes. We'll start off with the low class.
So the low class was pretty much all people who didn't own land at all, or people who ended up becoming slaves. And how they ended up getting their slaves were spoils of war, so to speak.
Now on to middle classes.
The middle classes was all the people who were farmers, fishermen, and people who just documented the records. And then the highest class that there was the upper class. The upper class was the kings, priests, landowners, and the merchants. And these were all people who owned a lot of land or had a ton of money.
So, Now we're just gonna have a little brief summary of what we've gone over today. Starting off with Colton.
As you well know, that Mesopotamians are well known for their pottery holders and also for making clay and their mathematics and calendars.
Now to Josh.
They believed in many gods that really sparked most of the world's religions. Christianity. And Muslims?
Okay. Their government was structured on kings that ruled over their own small land, not over the entire country. Their economics was completely based on trade and their agriculture, thanks to the rivers that they lived next to that made trade easier. So thanks for tuning in to a little brief history on Mesopotamia. Brought to you by Crainer Davis, Colton Smith, Josh Garner, and Ethan Crainer, who's holding our camera right now because he's camera shy.
Yeah. Okay.